It's amazing. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to the newest episode of the Truth Runners Talk Show. And as I said last time, this space is not about telling stories just for the sake of telling them. It's about understanding what changed, internally mainly, and how that shows up in the way we live today. And today, again, I am in conversation with one of the wonderful contributing authors to The Courage to Rise, which is a book that explores what happened after the turning point. Okay? So today, I'm joined by the wonderful, amazing Akleema Ali. And rather than focusing on what happened, we will explore together how she thinks, how she takes decisions now, and how she moves forward now. So welcome, Akleema. It's an honor and a pleasure to have you again with me here today.
Thank you so much, Christina, for inviting me. It's always a pleasure to have these conversations with you.
Today we are just going to, like, go with the flow as we usually do. So you guys, if you are watching this live or you are going to watch the replay, please always feel free to ask questions, leave your comments, and we are going to do our best, to answer your questions if you may have any. And before we go into the conversation, please allow me to introduce Akleema. She is a Reiki practitioner, a creative artist, and a wellness writer based in Trinidad and Tobago. She is the founder of the Reiki Lighthouse. Her work centers on guiding individuals towards inner peace, emotional balance, and self-awareness through energy healing, reflective practices, and creative expression. Known for blending Reiki with art and storytelling, she creates intuitive pieces that embody themes of harmony, love, and healing. Her offerings include Reiki sessions, guided meditations, affirmation-based journals, and creative wellness resources designed to support personal growth and spiritual alignment. Akleema has received multiple awards, and she is a former writer for BRAINZ Magazine. She has been recognized internationally for her contributions to energy healing and holistic wellness. Through her work, Akleema continues to inspire a deeper connection to self, encouraging others to embrace stillness, gratitude, and the gentle power of the energy healing. And let me tell you guys, this is one thing I absolutely love about Akleema. She really truly embodies that. So once again, welcome. And before we go in the conversation, truly, I would love to ask you, Akleema, how would you describe where you are in life right now?
Where I am right now in life, I would say I am constantly building a sanctuary. I am constantly looking for avenues to peace or reminding myself throughout the day where would my 15 minutes or half an hour be to sit and do nothing except spend time with myself and my practice.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much for saying that. And the reason why I appreciate you saying that is that exactly this is what we find really hard, right? To stay still and just be with ourselves because we are so used with this fast-paced world that doing nothing, it feels, it makes you feel guilty, and we are always in this do mode. So I love the fact that you move towards the stillness, because at the end of the day, in the stillness where we really find the answers. So I love that.
Definitely. And what I find as well is yes, as women in particular, we are constantly busy. We have home, we have work, and it seems we have universally signed on for so many tasks. And our journey is really about carving a path that suits us. So we need to eventually learn how to do things differently, the things that we have to do. There's nobody else to do it except us. But part of carving our time must be for us. And it looks differently to everyone. So sometimes it may not be just stillness, it can be eating healthy, it can be regular doctor appointments, whatever you have been neglecting for yourself, that will be the practice that you need to bring back into your life or start a new practice.
Beautifully said. I love that. Yes. So basically, what you're saying is try to pay more attention to yourself, and this is, you know me well. This is one of the main themes I'm always talking about. It goes back to self-love and to self-respect, and I love it. Thank you, Akleema. Um, I would love to ask you. There was a moment in your life when continuing in the same way you did, it become really impossible for you. And I know that you wrote about this in your chapter, so can we just go a little bit in that? What if there was a moment where you said, okay, I can't continue like this anymore?
Yes. So we all have these different turning points. Some are minor, and as we know, some are quite major, where there's a huge shift in our life. So I would have been living my life in a particular way. And, it was fairly, let me put it, on schedule. So I had a very tight schedule. I had the, as you call it, 9 to 5 or 8 to 4 job. Then I had my responsibilities at home. I had little or no time for myself. I was involved in no creative projects, no healing modalities, nothing for me. I gave out a lot to others. Gave out. I gave out. I stepped in to help others, and then slowly over time, my body started to send me a lot of signals. Now, sometimes we all know the signals that we get. We have our intuition and we are guided the fact that we already know what we need. And I think my turning point would have been when my health began to get affected. So my health began to get affected in different ways. It would have been migraines, dizziness, lower back pain. And, for me, with respect to part of my ongoing health issues would be, dealing with ovarian cysts, dealing with irregular menstrual cycles. And, especially as we age, these cycles fluctuate. And it would have been the discovery of very large cysts and fibroids to deal with that wreak a lot of havoc. I mean, it's difficult to describe how painful, how debilitating the big pain can be, how when the pain is there, you are unable to do tasks that you normally can do. And I think that would have been a huge turning point in my life that I would have served everyone else except myself. So from the pandemic, and that would have started in the pandemic. So from the pandemic to now, I would have radically recreated my life in such a way, and it's in constant creation. It is not a final product, it is always an ongoing journey. But from that point to now, I've invested a lot of time and a lot of reflection in how to live my life, how to live my life differently so that I give myself what I deserve. Because we are the only people that can give ourselves what we truly deserve. So that we are happy with our current choices and we are happy that we have given us 100% effort on ourselves as well. So my turning point would have been, and it would have been an ongoing cycle of dealing with very large cysts and dealing now with fibroids.
Wow. Thank you for the courage and the boldness to share that, and thank you for talking about that, because many women struggle with this, and they just don't share, they don't know. And I love what you said about that we don't listen. We have to listen to our body, because our body constantly says, our constantly signals to us, right? I also had to learn to listen to my intuition. I'm still learning. I'm still a work in progress, let's put it that way, because there is a huge conditioning on us, right? And paying attention to these signs, listening to your intuition, taking good care of yourself, right? It was not the norm. So this is what I think. I would dare to say that at this season in our lives, this is what we are really learning, to pay
Correct.
attention to ourselves, to put ourselves first, to pay attention to our to what the body signals, right? And to listen more and more to the intuition. Okay. And I also would love to ask you, during this, in this process, when you had the turning point, when you changed your life, and now you are doing something completely different, right, in your life, was there something you had to stop believing about yourself? Because, we always say that our beliefs create our reality, and we believe about ourselves that we are in a certain way. And was there something you had to stop literally believing about yourself in order to the change to happen?
I think one of the major things that has come up in the past and sometimes it's an ongoing issue because I guess from where I live, it's about the expectations and the belief system of being a woman. And in this island, in being an Indian woman, being Indian women do a lot of household chores, they do a lot of cooking, they take care of the household, so they become everything. They become nurse, mother,
True.
anything, problem solver, they become everything. So part
True.
of that belief system, I had to let go of a little bit. That all the shoulds, you know, a woman should. This is the belief system. This has to exist in this particular way. I would have had to let go of some of those expectations and beliefs about what a woman should do, should look like,
Yeah,
and should be.
exactly.
So definitely it revolves around that.
Well, thank you for sharing that. And again, I appreciate your courage because these shoulds are really heavy on each and every woman. As you said, we are put in a box, and if we try to move outside the box, then we are labeled. As you said, women should stay at home, should cook, should grow, the children, should take care of the family. So these are all the shoulds. But when you try and you dare to do something different, then you are labeled as different, right? But this is
Correct.
only the societal, I think this is the correct English word, right?
Yes.
Expectations is when they try to um, put you in a box, and you are kind of not allowed to really be who you are, to really be yourself. And on this journey of self growth, on this journey of self development, this should is something what we have to really actually have to unlearn to believe about, because it's not about relearning or learning. We have to unlearn certain things, and that can be hard sometimes. Okay,
And
so
I love that word unlearning because that is exactly what the journey is about. Unlearning all the conditioning, all the belief systems. You would realize that some of those things that we held on to don't serve us at all. Because what they create cycles and cycles of what we already know. They will not bring any positive change to what we already know. But when we start to do things differently and we teach others that, there are simple changes that can happen, that it's okay to do this, it's okay to live your life this way. When we give others room to be themselves, it would have so much more peace and relaxation that people would be able to live their lives a bit more freely and do exactly what they need to do in their life to make themselves joyful and happy.
I couldn't agree more with you, honestly. It's just giving others permission and giving yourself permission, to challenge and to unlearn those beliefs. I love that. And I love what you said about, knowledge, right? And I had a conversation, I think not a long time ago with someone, and I agree with her completely when she said that when we acquire knowledge, our knowledge is there to be shared. So when we share with others, when we inspire others, right? That's the impact what we are bringing into the world. So how do you move differently now compared to how did you move before? Now that you unlearned, you changed somebody's systems and you actually do what you love to do. Is it any difference? How do you move now?
So the difference, I would think, the very first thing that comes to mind, do a lot of reflection. Now, what I want to emphasize is not that I have stopped doing everything that I used to do. However, I do it differently. My schedule looks different. So even if I have to do chores or things that I have to do, that I'm in charge of, I do it at different times of the day. I don't do it on a rigid schedule like before. So my life before was really about work and home, full stop. No time for me. So on a weekend, or if I took a day off, my day off would have been either cleaning the house or running errands. That's it. So now I have slowly carved a path where try to, as much as I can, do some meditation on a morning, meditation or Reiki on an evening because Reiki is my passion. So any way that I get chance to practice Reiki, talk Reiki, or do anything, I integrate that in my life. Anyway, even if I have to run an errand wherever I'm going, if there's a park, if there's some type of grassy area, along the way, I'm going to stop and create a few minutes for myself while I am running an errand. So I'm still running the errand, but running the errand looks differently. If I'm doing something in the kitchen and I have space while something is baking, while I'm waiting on something to be finished, that time there could be used for me to do something towards me. I have also, opened up a chapter of gardening in the last few years that it goes in cycles because, with gardening, there's a lot of pests to control and, different things. But gardening is very therapeutic. If you can, it's very therapeutic, very healing. So I've integrated different types of gardening in different cycles where I can. And where I can't, I let the gardening rest and I pick up other things. So as I said, I've done a lot of writing and I continue to write. I continue to do poetry. At times, I go into the art as well. And my current project that I've been engaging for the past few years is that I'm analyzing um, different types of Reiki and integrative models that are present at hospitals in the US. So, of course, for me to do that, I have to carve the time in my current life in order to do that. So I'm doing the same errands sometimes, but I'm carving more time for me. One major thing that I have been doing that I never used to do before in the past, I always used to cook all my food, bake lots of bread, make cakes. I cook everything myself. And within recent years, part of my letting go is that it is okay to buy food today instead of cooking a meal. And that has been a major change for me along the way. I spend a lot of time in the kitchen, a lot of time preparing, cleaning up, baking. So if I don't have that, those hours are to be used for me to either heal, create, or do nothing.
No, that's beautiful. And I love what you are saying because even some of the things you are doing, you are doing the same things, but the way you are doing differently. And that really makes the difference. Doing things differently makes the difference. And I'm going to ask you a question, and I would love to talk really a little bit more about Reiki, about energy healing. And my question would be, how do you stay grounded when things feel uncertain? And I don't want to guide you to the answer, but would love to go a little bit in Reiki, if that helps you, how energy work helps you in this one. To stay grounded when there is uncertainty or there's something happening.
Yeah. So Reiki helps ground me because it brings you back to the present. Now, sometimes, it sounds pretty standard or normal when we say come back to the present. Coming back to the present is wherever your physical body is. My mind, I'm an overthinker.
Me too.
I overthink. Sometimes, I believe I have ADHD. My mind races on many different thoughts a lot of the times. I worry about things. I worry about family members. I get anxious about certain things. Reiki brings me back to where my body is, where my physical body is, what my breath is looking like. On very stressful days, if you have, whether it's Reiki or a meditative practice, I can assure you, Christina, when you pay attention to your breath, you would realize at times you hold your breath a
It's true.
little longer when you are under stress. So Reiki for me since 2017 has been a true lifesaver in keeping me grounded because I practice it and it brings me back to this state of being present, that at this moment you are safe. At this moment, this is what your life journey is looking like, and the reassurance that it is also going to be okay. Life is unpredictable. There are many things that we're going to throw us off. There are many intense emotions we are going to feel in life circumstances. So, Reiki for me brings me back to peace and relaxation with what I have to face on my life journey.
Thank you for sharing that, and I absolutely love it because um, what I do, sometimes I am not sometimes I am an overthinker as well, right? My my mind goes in different places all of a sudden, and when that happens, right? For example, even when you walk on the street, you feel like I'm here, but I'm not here,
Correct.
right? And that's the moment when I say, okay, we need to ground. And the grounding for me, it means like just remind yourself, okay, I have a body, I'm in my body, and I'm present in my body right now and here. Because that brings you back. Because sometimes, when your nervous system is overloaded, things are happening, there is a stressful period, the nervous system tries to protect you by withdrawal.
Does.
And then I realized I was walking on the street. I'm like, why am I feeling like I'm here, but I'm not here? I feel like I'm floating. And that's when, you use the energy healing. You use Reiki, for example, or
Yeah.
you literally have to come back to your body. Remind myself that, okay, I have a body. I come back to my body, ground yourself. So thank you very much for sharing that. I appreciate it. Um,
And one of the things, as while you were speaking, Christina, in addition to Reiki, even without Reiki, how I used to ground myself, and now I integrate the two. So when I'm feeling very scattered, and I realize you must always be aware or when the mind is racing, when the mind has gone too far, so you can pull it back. I say a lot of things to be grateful for, or I just say a simple thank you, and I keep repeating it. So I use thank you as a mantra. So at any point in time, when I feel scattered, I start to say thank you. And I start to cover everything around me, including myself, in the words thank you. And it brings me back to the present, everything that I can be grateful for. Because in creating gratitude for the present, we create doors for things to come. Always. It's a magnificent um, mantra for anybody to try.
It's true. I totally agree with you. Thank you and gratitude is really, really powerful. And then sometimes people ask me, Christina, there's nothing I can be grateful for. Oh yes, trust me. There are
Yeah,
plenty of things you can be
a
grateful
lot.
for. If you close your eyes, there are many, many, many things. Even if you, yes, if you detach yourself, but also requires a little bit of self-awareness, I would say.
Yes,
So if you are self-aware, if you are conscious, then you will always find things what you can be grateful for. It's beautiful.
correct.
And we were talking, you are part of the book, The Courage to Rise, which I am very grateful and I'm so happy that you accepted my invitation. And it's about rising, right? and what rising means to you now. Because, as we move in life, as you said, we have phases, seasons, there is always comes with a growth. We always grow. But now, in this very moment, what rising means to you?
Rising to me means letting go of expectations. I still have expectations. I have let go of a lot, but there are some situations I would realize I still expect something happening. And when I don't see that something happening, then it affects me. So part of me continuing to rise would be trying to let go of the expectations that I have of people and of situations. How I visualize it to be, I need to be able to let go of that so I can. Rising is about, it's really about freedom. It's about feeling freer, feeling lighter, instead of holding on to what we think needs to be in front of us and how it needs to look like, what it needs to look like. So part of rising for me is learning how to, let go of the expectations.
I agree with you. I think that could try myself because I do. But the thing, the funny thing is, I don't only have expectations from others, but from myself, right?
Yes,
And
yes,
sometimes I set the bar so high, and when I don't reach that, then I get frustrated and angry. And even now that we are on this, self growth and all that, I still have to remind myself, okay, Christina, slow down, bring it just a notch down,
yes,
because you are expecting too much. So I agree with you, yes, and it's not an easy task letting go of expectations towards yourself and towards others, because again, I would say unfortunately this is another conditioning. So
yes, it is.
I love that rising for you, it means letting go of expectations. For me, for example, it's setting boundaries, really. And that
Yes,
goes really hard because I realized at one point I had no boundaries at all.
correct,
It was very hard to say no,
correct.
and I said, okay, you're kind-hearted, you're soft-hearted, but it doesn't mean that you have to say, you know, yes to everything. So that's for me rising right now, for example, it means setting clear boundaries. And it's really, really, really important. Otherwise, we get to the point when I go back to square one, which is burnout, frustration, anger, and all that kind of stuff. So thank you. Thank you so, so, so much for sharing that. If,
And go ahead.
no, no, go ahead.
What I was going to say as you were speaking, it reminded me what you would realize when you start to behave differently or you need to be in a different chapter of your life and you try to respond the old you, you would realize you would get quick reminders from your body or from the environment that is not
Don't,
the path you need to be on. You need to move
it's true.
further. There's a brand new you. You always need to acknowledge the brand new you. And even for me, there are things that I could have done when I was younger. I could have done this 5 years ago very easily. And now, if I try to do it, I get burnt out instantly. And I realize I'm not meant to live that way anymore.
It's true.
I'm meant to live differently. And learning to live differently is a natural state of any new chapter. And as any new stage in your life, any turning point, your life is to look radically different.
It's true, I agree with you because there is a part of us, what I call the old me, and there is the new me.
Yeah.
The old me is still there a little bit, but the new me is just integrating. And then this rising, right? It's the in between. It's the transition phase. And that's the harder. It's just, the transition phase when the old you doesn't work anymore, but the new you still, yeah, still kind of integrating, embodying. So there is this transition phase between the old and the new. And I realize more and more, as you said, that the old way I did things or I responded to things, even though it comes from automatically, right? um, it's different now because the new me, it catches and like, okay, no, I
Yeah.
can't do that anymore.
Yes.
It's not working anymore. Like we were talking, for example, very simple thing. I used to multitask. And we talked about it before we entered the
Yeah.
live. Right now, my mind, even a few years back, I could do a lot of things all at the same time, paying attention to many things. Right now, for some reason, I only can focus on one thing at a time. And I thought it comes with age. No, it doesn't come with age. It comes with maturity, it comes with setting boundaries, and it comes with self-respect, really. Because if I don't want to get where I was, and I want to nurture this new me, this is how this is how the ways, as you move forward. So it's different.
It
If
is. And I like the word, it is about respecting yourself because we give out too much. And similarly, I had a problem with boundaries as well. And you realize the boundaries are the fact that, we need to create more respect for ourselves. And we also need to admit that we have disrespected ourselves. So now we are creating, a new life that we are happy and proud with. And we give ourselves love and respect.
it's true. Oh, yes. I always say that if me or if you who are watching now, you don't love and you don't respect yourself, then how can you expect others to love and respect you when you don't do that for yourself? Because you are the most important person in your life. It took me a while until I learned this, really. Being an overgiver, having no boundaries, being there for everybody at any time, it was really hard, but I'm still learning. No, I'm still learning to set boundaries, to set the expectations, as I said, and to respect myself, to recognize my own self worth. That was huge for me. It was, knowing your own worth and recognizing that. That's a turning point. That's something, again, what will change how you move forward in life. Okay, this is a completely conversation, so I'm not going to go into that. However, I would have to ask you, for example, if someone, okay, we have these milestones in life, we have the turning points. It's not just one, it's many of them. We have these mini breakthroughs, huge breakthroughs, okay? But if someone who is watching now, or maybe they're going to watch in the replay, is at the point where we've been there, we feel that something, it feels off, they don't really know what is yet, so they can't really name it. It's just the feeling that something is really off. What would you say to them?
If they know something is off and they need, I don't know, if they need clarity with where they need to be and they can't really put their finger on it, it's two things that can get you back. You always go back to what you love. So if you go back to old practices that you love, it can show you healing in that regard and clarity. But also, if you try something radically new, anything of your choice, the first thing that comes to mind, and you do that, or you speak to someone, sometimes the clarity comes instantly because you have created a shift to bring answers to yourself. So we all receive answers to ourselves, and sometimes, as you said, the emotions are quite intense. We can't think, we can't, we know something is off, we need clarity, we need a shift. We get the shift by going back to something that we love. Once we go to that space of something that where we love, close to people that we love, we get joy, we get kindness, we get clarity, and clarity comes in different forms. And then you will be able to see what needs to happen.
Thank you. I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that, Akleema. I completely agree with you. Going back to what you love, that's everything because uh, usually people not really do what they love. And from there comes the overthinking, from there comes the burnout, from there comes the
Yeah, correct.
all the troubles. Now, if someone resonated with you today, they feel aligned with you and what you are doing and who you are, and you are amazing, beautiful soul. where they can reach you, and what is it that you can offer to them at this point right now.
Well, if someone is looking for me, I am easily found on social media platforms. So if you search my name, Akleema Ali, or you search the Reiki Lighthouse with my name, you would be able to see I am on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, as well as I'm on LinkedIn. I also have a website, the Reiki Lighthouse TT. And what you can find, and oh, I recently started a TikTok channel.
You did?
And
Oh,
it's different. Yeah, it's so different because it's all about nature. So my TikTok channel is just beautiful spaces and nature that, should heal you by looking at it. So I started a TikTok channel, and what I can say that I can offer, so I offer different things. And I always say, when you visit my space or you come to my feed, hopefully it will be therapeutic in different ways. So the first way, if you visit the platform, you would realize there's a lot of information that you can read, that you can see, that you may find therapeutic and give you different ideas on how to live your life and where you need to be. And if you want to approach me directly for help, just to have a conversation, just to chat, that is also okay. And with respect to actual healing sessions, I offer virtual Reiki healing sessions, Reiki drumming sessions, as well as sound healing sessions. But right now, I love meeting different people from all parts of the globe. I love hearing about, seeing others on their social media as well and sharing. So even if you're in a space of just connecting, that is also fine. I'm welcome to that as well. So you can find me most of the time I'm on Instagram. So feel free to look up the Reiki Lighthouse, TT, and I'll be there.
thank you. We're gonna share your information in the comments under this video. So you guys, if you resonate or you feel aligned, please feel free to reach out to Akleema. She is amazing. And I know that this conversation is not about this, but I have to say this. Reiki, no, really, I must. You know, Akleema, she's amazing in Reiki and energy healing. And for those of you who are not familiar with energy healing and not familiar with Reiki, what I just would love to share is what I would love you to know is that Reiki, it cannot be done in present, but we can send Reiki in the past and in the future as well. So if you would love to try that and experience that, I highly, really encourage you to reach out to Akleema. We can do that, and she can do that, I'm pretty sure. So just reach out to her. Please watch out. A couple of announcements are going to come out soon because the book is going to be released on the 15th of May, The Courage to Rise. We have amazing, beautiful contributing authors who had the courage to share their stories, to share where they are right now, what was the turning point, where they are right now, what rising means to them right now. Akleema has an amazing and empowering chapter. I highly recommend, to look out and buy the book. I also would love to say thank you, Akleema, first of all, for being here with me again, for being part of this journey with me, walking beside me. I know you for many years now, and I'm always grateful to have you in my life. And I would love to say thank you to all of you watching Truth Runners, being here with us, and with all your likes and comments and love what you sent toward us. I hope this was helpful. I hope it helped. And until I'm seeing you next time, I'm sending you lots of love and light. Bye for now, everyone.
Bye.